How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I was just sitting here doing a little work and thought to just kind of come and talk to you impromptu for a second about the necessity in changing. Would you invite someone to come into this? I hope my signal is good. I'm working I'm working from my phone right now. So I pray that my signal is good. But I want to talk about the necessity of changing. Everybody, when I say everybody, I'm speaking from I guess my worldview, which is Christian and coming out of the church context. A lot of times people want miracles. Everybody wants a miracle in church. And what I've come to understand is that it's not usually a miracle that we need as much as it is a change. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce that name, Ayessa. Thank you. It's not really a miracle we need as much as it is a change. If I could get more people to change, I could vastly improve the lives, the quality of life, or the quality of people's lives dramatically. But what I'm discovering is people would rather continue to discuss the problem, the issues, and there are very few that actually want to apply the principles to change. Most people are waiting on things to change, I don't know, by themselves, just willy-nilly, most people don't want any personal responsibility relative to changing their lives. And so when I start having conversations about, well, this is what you need to do, and this is where you're missing it at, and this is what you're doing wrong, people begin to push back with, yeah, but, nothing. Nothing is going to change relative to you without you changing. It's as simple as that. But most people don't want to change. I was sharing with a friend of mine about, I've picked up some weight, like a lot of people have these last couple of years with this pandemic stuff, sitting around the house all day doing, pretty much nothing in terms of activity. And he's overweight as well. I'm not talking about him, I'm just telling the truth. He's overweight, I'm overweight. And rather than him just listening to me, he chimes in and he says, well, you can't hold yourself to, how did he put it? These unrealistic, superficial standards of attractiveness. And I said, well, those things do agree. There are unrealistic standards of beauty surrounding women, unrealistic standards of attractiveness surrounding men. I said, but then you have to also flip the coin and you have to say, there's some unnecessary things, compromises and things that we do as humans that we could change that don't allow us to be our best version. So even though there may be some unrealistic standards of beauty, it's not unrealistic for me to be 25 pounds lighter than I am now. That's not unrealistic. That's unnecessary that I even have that I even, I'm sitting here carrying 25 pounds more weight than I should. And, it's not an excuse we need when we're having a conversation like that. It's a change. It's not an excuse. I don't need you to make excuses because I'm not trying to live my life with excuses. I'm honestly trying to be the best version of me. So I don't want people trying to make excuses for me in areas where I just need to change. Don't tell me about unrealistic standards of attractiveness when, you and I both sitting here right now eating stuff we ain't got no business eating, and both of us sitting here overweight, and it ain't got nothing to do with no unrealistic standards. It has everything to do with the fact that nothing is going to change on the scale until I change. But if I'm just gonna sit here and make an excuse for everything that's not right in my life, and if I'm gonna sit here and blame the white man for me being overweight, or the white man blame the black man for him being overweight, or the Hispanic man blame the Chinese man, and the Chinese man blame the Indian man, man, hey, when are we going to really sit with ourselves and understand you can make all of the excuses in the world. When you get through with all of these fancy excuses, your life has not improved. You're sitting in the church and you're praying, oh God, Jesus, please do this and do that. And you notice you've been praying that prayer for years and nothing's happened, nothing's changed. You know why? Is it that God is impotent? Has his power diminished? Or is it the reality, or is the reality that with every positive move or every progressive move in your life, God has a part to play and you have a part to play? And if you don't change certain things, nothing will change if you don't change certain things are not going to change. And so does it, let me just go through these little things. Y'all see, I was just kind of jotting some thoughts down, some reasons I think these are some reasons, what I've listed here, I think are some reasons we elude, avoid, resist, better word, resist change. Or these things prevent us from changing. Let's put it that way. Self-pity. Yeah. Thank you. Self-pity. Sitting around just feeling sorry for yourself. And usually, when you get into, some of you sitting here watching me now, your mindset is resistant to change because you're given to self-pity. And the problem with us human beings, when we're given to self-pity, is that, while it sounds like we're whining and we're crying, oh, it's me, I'm just in such a bad way, I'm just in such a bad state. We sound pitiful and we look pitiful, but the reality is beneath the surface of self-pity is the hope for a hero. You're hoping for, dun, 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 dun. You want somebody to fly into your life. You're hoping that you can complain enough and you can be so pitiful that somebody more powerful than you is going to fly into your life and save the day. Can I tell you? Can I say this to you right now? You can save your tears. Really, you can. Nobody's paying attention to crying anymore. Have you ever noticed the whole world is crying? Have you ever noticed that the world is in more pain than ever before? People have their own issues and their own pain. Your self-pity is not going to attract, dun, 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 dun. You are going to have to be your own hero. I like that thing they have floating around on Instagram where I think it's Deion Sanders or somebody that says, play my theme music. You got to get your own theme music. You know, people be jamming off of my little music, but see, that music is for me. When you know that I come on with every Monday night, you know, and I got my other little music that I have actual the guy that puts that music together has won Grammys. That's how important music is for me because I understand that I can't motivate nobody else until I get me motivated. So I get music that motivates me and y'all seem to like it, but I haven't really put it out there for y'all. I put it out there for me because I realize that I gotta be in this situation everything I need to be to make this vision work. And when you're sitting here and you're given to self-pity, you're waiting on somebody else's theme music to play when you need your own theme music because this ain't gonna change until you wake up and realize I got to be my own self's hero today. I gotta do whatever it takes for me to get motivated to get up and do what I need to do for me today. You done got up, you get up every day and you do everything that's necessary for other people to live at their highest level, to be their best version. But when are you gonna show up for you? Because none of this stuff is gonna change until you change it. Same way you get up and you show up for everybody else, you got to show up for you now. You show up for your children. You show up for your spouses. You show up for your significant others. You show up for the people on your job. You show up for the people at your church. You show up for all the people in your family. Everybody talking about, you know, they can count on you and all of this kind of stuff here. And your life is constantly going down. The quality of your life is sinking. And you haven't paused long enough to realize you showing up for everybody else, but ain't nobody showing up for you. Nobody's showing up for you. And you sitting here in the self-pity, oh, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. Well, believe it. Believe it. This is a world of users. I'm not saying everybody's a user. Some people can't show up for you, and it's just meant for you. Thank you, Beauty by Christelle. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Sometimes it's meant for you to show up for people who can't show up for you. But hey, in general, you can't have your life filled with people that don't show up for you and then you sitting around whining about it and don't show up for yourself. At some point, you got to be able to say, I know you got this issue. I know y'all got that issue. But hey, I'm praying for y'all. Right now, I got to take care of me. Because none of y'all, you ain't got to say this, but you know it, none of y'all are going to show up for my stuff. But you always calling for me to show up for yours, and I always show up for it. But in the meantime, my stuff is going undone. My credit is going down the tank because I'm trying to help you pay your bills. These are not my bills. These are your bills. Come on now. My health is going down the drain because I'm trying to help you do this and do that. And I'm stressed out about your stuff. I'm struggling over here with toxic empathy. And I'm praying for God to change some stuff that ain't going to change until I change it. And sitting around here with this self-pity, waiting on somebody else to be my hero, my shero, that stuff ain't working. That's cartoons. Ain't no heroes. You got to be your own hero. Thank you, Michelle. You got to be your own hero. You got to show up for you now. Come on now. Come on now. We winding another year down, and you've given your life to people. And you just thinking one of these days they're going, man, this stuff is true. I'm telling you, this stuff, okay. Number two, you're resistant to change. Things are not changing for you because you refuse to put your life in an independent place. You're constantly living your life as a dependent. You know, it's like, I don't know, I guess it's that broken consciousness that I always talk about that keeps you in the place where, you know, you don't feel comfortable unless you're depending on somebody. It's like, thank you, Bridget. It's like, you know, it's like you don't feel right if you're in an independent place. If you don't have nobody, if you can call your own shots and, you know, Natasha, thank you so much. Email us at pastorrcblakes@gmail.com, Natasha. Pastor R.C. Blakes. Yeah, I think that's right. Lisa will straighten it out. But you stay in a place where you're dependent. And you won't go and put yourself, you won't educate yourself even when you have opportunity. You won't take advantage of opportunities that would make you depend or make you independent. You don't even have a mindset to be independent. And let me tell you something. There are some things that people are not going to do for you. You're going to have to be independent to see certain things happen. And independence means that you've made an investment in you. You know, I love the way my father, this gentleman right here, he's in heaven today. He's been gone now almost 10 years in April. He would have been in heaven or passed. And I love the way my father raised me. My father was a clothing horse. In other words, he loved clothes. He bought some of the very best clothing. Fact about it, I still wear some of my father's suits that he purchased, you know, very expensive suits. And these suits now 20, 25, maybe even more years old. And I'm still wearing them. That's how good his clothes were. And he would bring me to these expensive haberdasheries or clothing stores, and he'd let me watch him buy, you know, this level of clothing. He'd even let me, you know, pick out his stuff and put his stuff together, but he would never buy me one of those very expensive suits. Ariana, thank you. Why is that? Why did my father, who could afford to buy me one of those suits, never bought me one of those suits? He exposed me to it, but he never bought it for me. And I would have to leave that store feeling all of that fine material and then have to go to, you know, the cheap store and try to find, and it just wasn't feeling right. It wasn't laying right. It wasn't cut right, you know what I'm saying? But my father would let me go with him all the time, but he would never buy me one. You know what he was doing? I understand it now. He was giving me the inspiration, the vision for it, but he did not give me the outcome. He gave me the motivation. And so if I wanted the outcome, I wasn't going to get the outcome on his dime. I was going to have to work and become my own man to be able to walk into any of these stores and be able to reproduce the outcomes my father's life produced for him. It's because there's some things you will never get as a dependent. It's time for you to grow up. It's time for you to become independent and stop running around here with all of these people that keep you nursing. It's time for you to grow up and sit at the table now and be able to cut your own food up and use your own utensils and be independent. Some things are not going to happen for you as a consequence of somebody else giving it to you. It's time for you to be independent now. And it ain't going to change until you change. If you don't lose this dependent mindset, you know, like some of you ladies, you know, instead of you just really doing the work to get yourself together financially, you know, you just around here with all of this stuff and just carrying on all of this buffoonery as far as I'm concerned. And you're just keeping these low-level men in your life for the dollar, because you refuse to do what's necessary to make yourself independent. If you would invest as much in your personal advancement and education as you invest in all of these butterflies on your eyes and all of this makeup you can't afford and all of these Mickey Mouse and diamonds on your nails and all of these diamonds all on your toes and all of this wearing these bags and you ain't got the money in them. If you would have invested the last 4 years in your personal, in your personal advancement and your personal independence, you would have been in a position now where you don't have to sit around here and wait on a man to give you money and sleeping with a man that you don't love. He don't love you back. You don't even feel good about this situation. It's just a financial arrangement. And you saying here, Lord, when? Babe, you letting year after year after year after year pass when you have not invested in you. You know, we talk about self-care and self-love. It's wonderful. Lisa and I went today and I got a manicure. You know, I put these dogs in the water and they took care of my feet for me and all that kind of stuff. And that's a wonderful part of life. But hey, babe, if I'm doing all of that, and I'm not investing in myself to a point where I can handle my own financially, that ain't no self-care. There are too many opportunities out here for you to still be around here depending on men to pay your rent. And you're sitting around here depending on a man to pay your rent, and then you're praying saying, Lord, send me a king. How you going to get a king when you got to keep these clowns around to pay your rent? These clowns got you preoccupied because you're not independent. And there's certain things that are not going to happen in your life until you make up your mind, I'm going to stop being independent. I got to move from, okay, I'm not going to say that. That might be offensive to somebody. People are resistant to change because they're driven by shame. You know, like for instance, let me give you an example of what I mean by that. You know, you get these old bogus relationships that y'all try to create all on the Instagram and everything. And people know this is a bunch of baloney. This ain't no real relationship. And you got these people on there. You just popped up with these people and, you know, talking about this your man or this your woman even. And this stuff just look plastic. And then you put all this stuff out here. And this stuff don't last. And there you are trying to keep the imagery of this. There you are trying to make this work because you so shame. See shame and pride ride around in the same car. When you always shame, you're struggling with pride. When you always shame, you are beneath the surface, you're struggling with pride. And what does that mean? You're too concerned about what people think. You're more worried about looking good than actually being good. I ain't shame about nothing. If I made a mistake, I just made a mistake. I'm human. And if you can't relate to that, God bless you. I don't really care about what you think. And I'm not going to sit around here and perpetuate something that ain't working because I'm shame about what you gonna think or how I might look. Babe, I'd rather look bad and get on track with becoming good than to be around here looking good and being bad. And it ain't gonna change until you change it. Thank you, Anna. That looked like Europe there. Thank you so much. It ain't gonna change until you change it. You got to get to a point where you stop worrying about, people's approval and what you look like and what are people going to say. Who gives a hoot about what people think? If I'm putting my life together, I don't care what you think. You can say, oh, he looked bad. Well, yeah, I may be looking bad today, but check me out 6 months from now. I'm not, let's see. Oh, here's a good one. It ain't gonna change until you change it. Why are people not changing? Procrastination. You know it needs to change, but you're a procrastinator. And I was reading a definition. I'm actually this Sunday on the cyber platform. I'm teaching there's a part of the lesson where I'm talking about procrastination. And I was reading a definition. I don't have it with me, so I can't remember it verbatim, but they're talking about how procrastination is an irrational, let me just reword it. Procrastination is an irrational delay on things that are necessary for you to do, that alters the outcomes of your life for the negative. But the spirit of procrastination is so strong, though you know, if I don't get this done now, this is going to be the consequence. People that are given to procrastination still delay things that they should be doing today. They hold off on it till tomorrow. And so they don't change what needs to be changed because of procrastination. And here's the problem with procrastination and not changing. The thing you can change today by making a decision and making a move will sink to such a difficult place tomorrow that you may not be able to change it. It may be beyond your reach. You may allow it to turn into something that's bigger than something you can manage. Okay, here's another one. Number 5. Why don't people change? Group thinking. In other words, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do this by yourself. This is my little notes here. You're not changing because for you to change would mean that you would have to go in a different direction than your little band of bums are going in. Yeah, you got a little band of bums you run with. Sometimes these bums are male, sometimes these bums are female. You got male and female bums. Some of you ladies got a whole crew of bum females doing nothing, talking about everybody that is doing something. And, you know, though you are being enlightened, you're not motivated. Thank you, Courtney. You're not motivated to actually change. You know better, but you're not doing better, because to do better would mean that you would have to generate a whole new circle. And before you can have a whole new circle, you got to be by yourself. And that's unthinkable. That's unthinkable. It's unthinkable that I can't be by myself. I got to be a part of a group. Man, listen. You know, we have so few independent thinkers in the United States of America and probably even the world. But because I live in the United States of America, we don't have there are no independent thinkers in the United States of America. Very few, should I say. There are very few independent thinkers. Most people are going along, what is it? Go along, get along, in the go along, get along gang. Everybody's going along because they want to fit into the group. And so people know better, know what they should be doing, but they won't do it because if I do something different than the group, I'll be exiled from the group. Well, you see, that lets you know right there that you need an adjustment in your mindset. I don't care nothing about being locked into no group. Because when you have a mindset to win in life, how do you determine the winner of a race? Not by the one, thank you, Raquel, not by the one that blends in with the group, but by the one that does whatever's necessary to separate herself, separate himself from the group, so that when they cross the finish line, it may be a photo finish, but they can see that this person had some distance between them and the group. As long as you're striving to fit into the group, you're not planning on winning in life. The day you wake up and you make up your mind that you're going to actually be a winner in life, that's the day. Thank you, Juana. I hope I said that right. That's the day that you're going to be perfectly content with being able to be by yourself, being able to make independent choices. Mayeka, I think I said that right. Thank you so much. Being able to upset the status quo. I'm not trying to fit into no status quo. Yeah. When I started coming on social media and YouTube, most of the preachers, the pastors my age, of my generation, my group, they said, oh man, you wasting your time out there trying to talk to these people. These people don't want to hear nothing about God. And I just knew what God told me to do. I said, well, you know, hey, you ain't got to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to just chill. Just, you know, I'm going to do it. Let me do me, you do you. Go do what you do. Let me do what I do. You ain't got nothing to do with this here. And now years later, we've come out of a pandemic. This was all they had. They're calling me, you know, by the handfuls. Man, teach me how to do it. Well, I can't, you know, there's no crash course now. You know, there's no crash course now. And you can't build no following to, you know, now, you know, they looking at mine, but I've been doing this for years. I've been sitting here doing exactly what I'm doing right now for years. For years. And my group said it's a waste of time, but because I'm an independent thinker, and because I'm first an individual, you ain't gonna take my individuality from me now. You're not gonna do that. Because there's some stuff that ain't gonna come into my life except I think and function as an individual. And there's some changes that are not gonna hit your life until you move independently. As long as you sitting up here following your band of bums, you're gonna keep getting the same outcomes. Boy, that's bars right there. Long as you following your band of bums, you're gonna keep getting your same outcomes. You gotta wake up, grow up, think up, speak up, and move independently. Thank you, the lady. I like that. The lady, thank you. And then you're gonna see some of the changes you want to see. Some of y'all can't get no man because you won't turn all of these women loose that you're running up and down the street with every day. What in the world is a bunch of women running up and down the street every day for? And all y'all talking about y'all want a man. How you gonna get a man with a bunch of women? What in the world is a dude that say he want a wife running up and down the street with a bunch of hard legs all day long? Y'all all up in the restaurant, you and this bunch of hard legs. What in the world? How you gonna get a woman with this here? Woman see a bunch of dudes together today, the first thing they think is, well, you know, they may be on that other side. They think the same day. You gotta learn how to roll solo if you want a man to holler at you. You got to learn how to roll solo if you want to be able to reach out and get the woman of your dreams. A lot of y'all have not had relational success because you don't go nowhere by yourself. And you're not going to see a change in that area until you separate yourself from the group. You're in a group, they're all loud and ignorant and everything. And now you sitting up in the middle of this, and now you got a quality man in the restaurant looking at this group and assuming all of y'all of the same caliber. Because you know they get that liquor and then they get loud and they get to talking. Don't make no difference what kind of degrees they got on the wall. They get that liquor, they go to hollering and cackling and all this kind of stuff here. And you misrepresenting yourself because you refuse to stand out as an individual. A band of bums. Yeah, that's what I said. A band of bums. And bums are not just dudes. Oh, yeah, I know it's time me get off now. I'm about to get in trouble. Lord have mercy, Jesus. I know I'm going to get in trouble Monday night. I know I'm going to get in trouble Monday night. Yeah, I'm definitely getting in trouble Monday night. I'm probably have to hire some private security after Monday night. Number 6, and then I'm done. Why are you not changing? You're complacent. You're complacent and you're waiting on a miracle. It's a again, that's church folk stuff. You're complacent. You know, you want things to be better, but you don't want to have to bust a move for things to be better. So you'd rather sit here and pray. You need to stop praying. Seriously, stop praying about that, because you ain't did nothing. And see, most of the consequence, most of the results of prayer is that you gonna pray about something, God gonna tell you to do something. And when you do what God tell you to do, then things are gonna change. See, if you're complacent and you sitting in the same seat every day and you just constantly on this thing here and you're not making money on it, and you're not really making no moves, you just sitting around here looking at Instagram, looking at everybody else's amazing life or their amazing lives, while yours is, you know, like looking like a greasy paper bag, because you're complacent and you don't want to make any moves. And so now you're waiting on God to do for you what God has empowered you to do for yourself. And then because things don't change, now you want to hate on all of the other people in your world that are doing their due diligence and getting the equivalent outcomes. So now you sitting there, you're a little hater. You gossiping about people that's making it happen, but you're complacent. You're waiting on a miracle when the miracle is really waiting on you. It ain't gonna change until you get out of this complacency. Akila, thank you so much. You gotta get out of this. You just sitting there and I'm believing God. I get so tired of hearing church folks say that. I'm believing God. Okay, praise the Lord. I'm believing God with you. What have you done? Tell me, what are you doing? I'm a preacher. I believe in believing God. But what are you doing? What are you doing? Nothing, because you're complacent. You're lazy, in other words. And ain't nothing gonna change until you change. So this is like some, you know, some real accountability for us today. And I like to include myself, you know, because all of us are on this journey together. Nobody's perfected this. There's no such thing as a perfect human. Life is a beautiful struggle. But hopefully you're engaged in the struggle. And if you're engaged in the struggle, you are changing. If you're not changing, you're not engaged in the struggle. I was reading, and a gentleman said something to this effect. He says, the tragedy of life is not that it is so short. The tragedy is that it takes most of us too long to actually engage the process of living. And see, if you're not changing, you're not living. You're just existing. So there you have it. That's my little Friday afternoon sermon. Lisa's waiting on me to bring her to get something to eat, but I wanted to share this with you today. Listen, those of you that need counseling, there's a link in the description for BetterHelp Counseling. Those of you that go to my website, rcblakes.com, sign up for my mailing list. Hey, we got 1,100 people in here. I see thank you, Sarah. I see 466 likes. Y'all think we can get, 800 at least? Can we get like 800 likes before? See, this, y'all don't understand. I'm intentionally trying to reach people. And when you like and when you comment, what it does is it works with the algorithm and it helps this message to trend, while all of these other toxic messages are trending because their audiences, they're certain to like, they're certain to comment. I need my audience, I need my tribe to make certain that the messages that I'm delivering are competing with all of these toxic messages that are out here, especially on the YouTube platform. So it's, that's a part of our process. If I can get you to do that on your side, we can make miracles happen. What else? Hey, don't forget to go and check out the online programs at rcblakes.com. Yeah, and thank you all for sowing into our lives. Lisa and I love you. We really, really thank God. Okay, we had 628. I got 632 stars. I feel like an auctioneer now. I got 633. Can I get 634? Can I get six? I got 636. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So listen, I love you all. Hey, if you're anywhere around the Houston, Texas area, this Sunday morning, 11 a.m., I would love for you to be our special guest at church. 4805 Shermire Road, Houston, Texas. They're celebrating my 40th year in ministry, but I'm ministering Sunday, and I'm more excited about the message. I'm talking Sunday about theological therapy for thugs. Is it Shani? Thank you. Or Shani? Thank you. Theological therapy for thugs. Now, I know initially you say, oh, he's talking to some roughneck men. No. Thugs are traumatized humans unable to grieve. Sometimes thugs are little old ladies. Sometimes thugs are little old men. Thugs are white, thugs are black, thugs are Asian, Hispanic. Thugs are tall, thugs are short. Thugs are soft, thugs are hard. Traumatized humans unable to grieve. I want to start unpacking that Sunday, and I believe that it's going to really begin the process of helping a lot of people to begin to heal. I'm no mental health professional, but I do know the Word of God can bring healing to a broken soul. So I invite you to come and to be a part of our experience on Sunday for 11 a.m. If we have a special class for men and women. Thank you, T. For men and women, that starts at 9:45. We have the Kingology class, and the wife, Lisa, actually teaches the women's class. So there's a class for men, there's a class for women. That's the equivalent of our Sunday school. We call it life school. And then once that's over, then we go into the regular worship experience at 11 o'clock. So I invite you to come in and be a part of that. You have sons. You're welcome to bring them and drop them in the men's class. Your boyfriends, your husbands, invite them to come. And you can go and sit in the women's class with Lisa. And all of that happens at New Home, Houston. So, hey, I'm out of here. I got to go feed my wife. I love you all. Thank you so much for everything. Where are we at? 714. I said I wanted 800, right? Still got over 1,000 people in here. We got 716 likes. I got 717. I ain't gonna do that. Y'all gonna take care of it. 718. Thank you all so much. Love you. I'll talk to you real soon. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you on Monday night. Those of you that are members or that are patrons on Patreon, Lisa and I love you. Thank you, Michelle. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Lisa and I love you so much. All right, I'm gone. Talk to y'all later.